Good day, everybody. How are you all today? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well. It is cold and wet, um, rainy here, expecting some maybe some freezing conditions and whatnot. But I'm just going to talk about a little bit of news, what's going on with me in the world, whatnot. So I got a notification that I could possibly be demonetized next week. Um, I hope that that's not the case. I'm gonna do my appeal video and see what happens. But I am grateful for the YouTube platform thus far. I'm grateful for what I have been able to make so far. It's a great help. I have over 900 videos on my platform, and most of it helps people. To be honest, there was a reuse issue, a reuse strike about reusing content. I think that's what it was about. So I'm going to do my best to appeal that, see what happens. But I said all of that to say this: have more than one stream of income. For those who may be dealing with the issue of becoming demonetized or whatnot, just remember, what were you doing before YouTube? And I don't have an extreme amount of followers and whatnot, or subscribers. However, a few videos have gotten quite a bit of views, and I'm grateful for that. But again, what else are you doing outside of YouTube? Don't make anything your God. Don't make anything your total and complete source. All right, that even goes for your 9 to 5. Don't make anything your one and only supreme source. Even if you're only doing one thing to gain income, always have some other certifications or things under your belt, or things that you could do. All right. But with that being said, the main focus of this video is talking about the Trump administration and one of the latest things that they have done. So if you all are aware, there are about 116 national parks, right, across the nation, the United States. And on federal holidays, you get into those parks for free. Now, two of those holidays are MLK and Juneteenth. So recently, the Trump administration and Mr. Trump, Donald Trump, President Trump, hi Skullbrush, thank you for joining the live, recently ended the policy that allows you to enter the national parks for free on MLK and Juneteenth. Now, I don't know why those particular holidays were singled out, but it is what it is, and here we are. But in addition to that, and the attack on wokeism and DEI that this administration has undertaken, in addition to that, the free entry on MLK Day, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and Juneteenth were met with free admission on Donald Trump's birthday on June 14th. All right. So to wrap this all up, thank you, Olivia, for your comment. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up what I'm talking about in this video to you, since you just asked and I'm talking about it. Donald Trump has ended the policy that allows people to enter national parks on Martin Luther King Day and Juneteenth for free. He ended that, but he enacted a policy to get into the national parks on his birthday, which is June the 14th. If you love Donald Trump, if you don't like Donald Trump, it is of no effect. It doesn't even matter. All I'm doing is bringing to you the news. All right. So, people think they're trying to hurt you or be funny or facetious by saying they love Donald Trump. All the power to you, for you. I'm happy for you. Whatever you love and you like, go for it. But anyway, I was just bringing that, because there's some things that people miss, people don't hear. And when I heard that, I was flabbergasted. I'm like, really? Like the disrespect and the racism, I mean, it's not even a surprise anymore. It's just more like, really? Like, you just keep thinking in your head, like, is there more? Can you do any more? But yeah, you could, people can do more, but it's just not a surprise to us anymore. And that's why a lot of us are just like, okay, what's next? Nothing can get any worse than what has already been done to my people, y'all. I mean, like, it can't get any worse. So at this point, it's comical. So it is what it is, you know. And yeah, I just wanted to bring that recent current event to you all, that, you know, the free entry to the national parks has been removed on Martin Luther King and Juneteenth, for whatever reason those two holidays were picked. But in addition to that, the free entry was added to June the 14th, which is Donald Trump's birthday. So yeah, let's see, brain briefing. My thoughts on Indigenous African people who were forced to convert in Western religion, worshiping a white god. That's what happens when one people conquers another. You have lots of things that are stripped from those people, and the history speaks for itself. They're stripped of their names, their religion, their practices, their beliefs, their love for themselves, their appreciation for themselves, and it's really a tragic and a very sad, tragic, evil thing, to be honest. And you know, that's why you see we're working through this. You know, a lot of the things that you see Black people going through, they think, oh well, just pick yourself up by the bootstraps and everything will be okay. But you can't undo over 400 years of oppression in less than 70 years, you know. So it is what it is, but we're working through it. We're feeling the birth pangs of it all. We have to go through all of these things to get back to where we need to be. So you know, that's what happens when you colonize a people, and when you basically take them out. And when you take people out, I don't necessarily mean you're taking them out physically or taking their life. You can take people out mentally, and that's what has happened. A handful of us are African, but mostly Indigenous. Bobby, I believe there's truth to that, and that's why we're seeing a whole lot of people more and more saying that they're Indigenous and they're not African. But that's a whole deep rabbit hole, because, you know, ultimately we are African, of African descent, if you want to call it that, because, you know, even that was named after somebody else that wasn't even of that land. But when it all boils down, we are technically African. But when it's talking about who were the first to populate this particular continent, these particular lands, you have to think about, okay, if you have a group of people that were first on the earth, and then those people dispersed everywhere, naturally those are the people that are going to be first everywhere. You know what I mean? And that's what a lot of people aren't understanding, trying to say, oh, why are y'all claiming to be Indigenous this and Indigenous here and Indigenous there? You know, I mean, that's for each to go and research and make up their own mind on, you know. So it is what it is. It's a really deep and dark hole and rabbit hole to get into, because so much history has been removed and lied about and kept from us. Yeah, and I was just watching a video today, and it was talking about how a lot of Indigenous people were reclassified as colored on the U.S. Census. So there are a lot of people walking around today that were considered colored, Negro, or nowadays Black or African American, that are actually of Indigenous descent. Literally. Yep. To be honest with you, I know you're trying to be funny, triple O, open your eyes. I wouldn't want to be on a reservation. To be honest with you, when I think about it, a reservation is a slap in the face. A lot of Native Americans that are living living on reservations, they suffer a lot of ailments that black communities do. Diabetes, bad health, bad food, alcoholism, drug abuse and addiction and all of that. And you have to think about it. I mean, why are those two particular communities being affected in almost the same exact ways? I mean, it, it's not even a conspiracy theory anymore. I mean, look at the similarities of how both of these communities are living, and how they're going. You know what I mean? It I mean, it's not about throwing blame back and forth anymore. Right now, to be honest with you, I don't even have the energy, the time, or the the I don't even want to argue and bicker with people who are not for us and helping us correct the issues. Um, I don't argue with people that are trying to gaslight us and tell us it's all our fault, is this, is that. We know the truth, and it's all about us coming together now and helping each other get up out of the situation that we're in. I mean, people that are trying to be funny and nasty and mean and all that stuff is like, I mean, we've already been through that. Like I said earlier in this post, we've already been through the worst that we could possibly go through. So what's the point in arguing with people that mean us no good? It's just wasting time. We're wasting the time that we can be spending on ourselves and on our communities and raising our children and taking care of our little black kids and our parents and our wealth, and recreating and regathering up our wealth and all of those good things. You know what I mean? We are the descendants of the most resilient people in the Americas, has never seen West Africans. I'm going to have to disagree with you a little bit on that, DD Saracen 8749, because I am of the Gullah Geechee culture, and West African culture is very heavy in Gullah Geechee culture, so there's no denying it. And I don't understand why there's such a huge divide and argument that either you're West African or you're Indigenous American. Both of those things can be very, very true, because we are a mixed people. Even my family, my ancestry, I mean, there's Caucasian blood, there's Indigenous American blood, and there's West African blood, and it is what it is. I mean, all this dividing and stuff like that, at a certain point, all of those things can be true. Two things can be true at one time. We don't have to argue and bicker and divide amongst ourselves. It's time to unite, come together on the commonalities, and let's fix our issues. Let's fix the issues, Every group suffered injustices, oppression, and hate. I agree, K. Dowling 3201. The problem with that is every time we are talking about our pain, other groups of people try to tell us, oh, well, everybody, you know what I mean? It's like the Black Lives Matter. Okay, we're trying to say at this very moment, our lives are being taken, and it's so gaslighting and disingenuous for people to say, oh, well, it's not just you, it's everybody. Okay, it just totally dismisses what we're trying to say, and it's just proof and evidence that we're not being heard, and that you just really don't care when you say stuff like that. That's like me saying to my child who just fell and hurt himself, oh, well, whatever, I fell and hurt myself today, you'll be okay. You know what I mean? It's two different people, two different situations. And we're used to the gaslighting, we're used to the dismissal, and again, we are focusing on fixing our issues now, not arguing with people who do not have our best interests at heart. Yes, we do have everything in us as Black Americans. I agree. That is why we survived. What you're looking at right now in America, the descendants of slavery and the descendants of the mass unaliving of indigenous peoples, we are the strongest of the strongest. Only the strongest survived. So of the people who survived, we are the descendants of them. So I agree with you. Everything we need is already in us. And that's why you're seeing us thrive and rise up. We're the creme of the creme, or whatever they say, the creme de creme, or something like that. The cream of the crop, to be honest with you. And yeah, I'm not going to go any further into that because people start calling you racist and stuff like that. But I love myself. I love my people. I love my black children. I love my black family. I love blackness. I love African Americans, whatever you want to call them, indigenous Americans, all of that good stuff. I love the melanin. Now, some of these comments I missed, y'all, and it's too many to read to go back. I'm just trying to catch some of the ones at the end a little bit here. The Geechee are the most Afrocentric people in the USA. Yes, because a lot of African culture is still very much still alive there and thriving. A lot of it was able to be preserved there because of all of the islands and the people being isolated there. So a lot of those Africanisms and cultures and customs are still everyday life for us down there. And it's like, you know, it's like second nature, first nature. I am from the southern part of the United States, Gullah Geechee territory. That's where I'm from, Harry Bandois. Let's see here. I understand that streaming in a car may not be original, but it's what I'm doing with my time. I just went ahead and totally removed you from my channel because it didn't even make any sense for you to make that comment. Tons of people stream in their car. Whatever is going to get the point across at the time available, that's what I'm going to do. Victim mentality, yeah, some people do have victim mentality, but the thing is, when people, especially when black people, start to explain things and explain history, we often get labeled as, oh, you have a victim mentality just because we're explaining what happened. You know, it's like every turn we take, we're being told to shut up and dribble, just like they told LeBron James when he was talking about Black Lives Matter. This is a black man in America who has a voice and a platform, a huge platform to speak on behalf of his people. And a young lady had the nerve to tell him to shut up and dribble. So that's what that sounds like to me when people tell us that we have a victim mentality just when we're speaking on the truth and of literal history of what has happened and what is happening. You know, Black Queens, thank you so much, Chris 1111. I appreciate it. Yes. I appreciate all of the comments. I really, really do. Your dad is Geechee, Bobby? Oh, there you go. There you go. Most of the most African Americans or blacks in the United States have Gullah Geechee history because that's where one of the major slave ports was. And so you came through there and then you were dispersed other places. And then you had the great migration where a lot of people from the South went up to like Michigan and Ohio and, you know, Illinois and things like that. So, yeah. I don't want to go back and forth with you. Could you see the complexion of those coming in looking to cause issues? There might be a little bit of truth to that. Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to read some of the comments and go back, y'all. But if you do have anything to say, go ahead and add it, and I'll try to definitely read it. I don't want to ignore anybody, but it is a lot of comments today. Happy holidays to you too, George. Thank you. We was kings and queens. Not past tense. We still are. That never dies. All right. Every square, every corner, scattered to every corner. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Let's see. All right, I went back as far as I could. Let's see if there are any new comments. Let's leave America. This country is sinking ship. Anyway, that might be true. However, like I was saying, a lot of this is still our land. So, do you leave your land is the question. Do you leave what belongs to you? You know, and when it's all said and done, the whole world is going to feel the effects if the United States falls. If the United States is a sinking ship, most of this world is going to be a sinking ship because it's tethered to the United States in some way or another. Yep. Air quality standards are holding back corporate profits. What does that have to do with this? But yeah, if you all don't have any more questions, comments, or concerns, I started this live off talking about the fact that I could possibly be demonetized. I'm not accepting that. I'm rebuking that. But if it does come to that, like I said, have way more than one stream of income, and just keep rolling. Just keep rolling. And I was talking about the fact that the Trump administration has done away with free entry to the national parks on Martin Luther King Day and Juneteenth. However, in return, he actually made it free entry on his birthday, which is June the 14th. So you can make of that whatever you want. It is what it is, you know. You hate them, you know. Like I said, it is what it is, y'all. You know, it's a lot going on in this world, and I think that we're focusing on a lot of the smaller things. Just like him doing this, it's like little things being done to slowly chip at us and trigger us, try to trigger us into something. But overall, we're pretty much unbothered because we know what we've been through, we know where we're going now, and we know who we are. When you know who you are, nothing will bother you, nothing will get to you like that anymore, and you will have a true purpose in your life. When you figure out what your purpose is and who you are, you stay on that trajectory to get you and your family and your where you need to be. But I'm gonna go ahead and yes, let's talk about emotional stability. Yes, exactly. And that's what we're talking about. It's not about money, finances. It's not about things or anything like that. It's about getting to a good place spiritually and mentally right now, because from the heart and the mind, everything else flows. You know, we get that together, everything else is going to flow from that. Yes, I totally agree with you so much. And let's remove negativity. When there are people around you, things being said to you that are negative, don't even repeat it. Just like when people add stupid negative comments on these, I don't even read it because I don't even want to put it out in the atmosphere. I don't even want to put it out over myself, you know. I read it, I delete it. Sometimes I just go ahead and block them from the channel altogether because I don't want or need any type of negative energy around me. If you don't want to be somewhere, don't be there. Don't make other people miserable. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. Yeah. You can't have good without bad and stay positive. Yeah, I agree. You can't have the good without the bad, because if you don't have bad, you won't know what good is. Right? Yes, it's totally about balance in this world. Totally about balance. And that's, again, going back to the mind and our frame of mind and how we're thinking, you know, getting back in balance, all right? And not letting anyone who is against you get into your mind, mess with your mind, your state of thought, your frame of thought, or where you are going, all right? Really, this is all about energy right now. We are living in a very high frequency, high energy state right now. I don't know if y'all can feel it, but it has been like this for the past few years. And it's just a lot going on. And people are throwing out the frivolous things that mean absolutely nothing. And they're ignoring what is actually going on. Yes, I'm all natural today, but don't get me wrong, I wear my wig sometime now because I like my protective styles to keep my natural hair healthy. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to add today. Yes, I hope that your wife has a safe and awesome delivery of that little new life that's coming into your world. Let's see, Vijay. Yeah. Black lives always have and always will matter. Mhm. We have no control of, yes, we do not have any control over other people, Mr. Fort Y Grit or 40 Grit. Absolutely none. And that's why I said that's why I said a little bit earlier, let's focus on ourselves. Redirect that energy and focus on ourselves. Yep. Yep. Yes, indeed. But yeah, that's it, y'all. I really appreciate you all for joining this live today. It's 40 deep right now. I appreciate that, because I appreciate your time, and I'm going to always say that time is invaluable, and if every moment, second that you spend with me, I truly and greatly appreciate it, because you can't get it back, but you chose to spend it with me, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I really am. All right, I'm trying to see if any more comments coming before I end. Yeah, but yeah, that's it, y'all. You all be blessed and take care of yourselves. Rebuke that negative energy. Have multiple streams of income. And don't let anybody get under your skin. All right, y'all be blessed.